Where did you and Bernie get married?
In Brooklyn, in the basement of the rabbi's house.
Not in the synagogue.
Oh no, we didn't belong to a synagogue. We couldn't afford it.
So what did it cost to belong to a synagogue back then?
I have no idea.
But it was too much.
Because and not only that, I didn't know where I was going to live.
Yeah.
We were wandering around from his mother's house, which was a disaster, to my mother's house, which was a double disaster. We couldn't afford hotel rooms. It was a very difficult. I counted every penny. I didn't allow myself a cup of coffee because we had to open an office.
Mm.
He didn't worry because he came from a house. His father made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I worried because I came from a house with no money.
Mm.
So I nagged him to death to watch the pennies. And he didn't know what I was talking about.
Right.
To the day he died, he threw out money in a nonsensical way, and I watched it.
Yeah.
Even when I don't have to.
You married him before he entered the army or after he entered the army?
When he married, when he was...
Was he already in the service?
He was in Texas. He was already in the army.
He was already in the army?
In the Air Corps.
Okay.
Yeah.
You joined him in Texas and then he was sent overseas?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were married in February. He had to go back to the base, and I couldn't get a train ticket for months. I finally got on the train and went out to Hondo, Texas.
That's a long trip on a train from New York to Texas.
And I met some people on the train overnight. It was the whole thing. And then I compared notes with other women who also took train rides to Chicago and different places. You know, we all had the same story.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I had money with me so I could afford a sandwich.
As soon as he went overseas, you were allowed to go back to New York.
I went home.
Okay.
Yeah. And my life from that point on was a horror. I have a sister who's
You had
going
to
to
work.
kill herself.
You had to work, you had your sister.
I had this lousy job. He's overseas. I had in-laws who ate me up alive. If I didn't commit murder then, I never will.
Well, you didn't.
I had a terrible life. Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was always nervous. I was always angry.
Mm-hmm.
I was always on edge because something terrible was going to happen. How am I going to manage this and how am I going to manage that and how am I going to... I was an old woman before my time.
Mm-hmm.
I was very old.
You had to internalize all that anger too, right? You
Yeah,
thought
who am I going to tell?
Who could you... What's your outlet? There is no
Yeah.
outlet. Couldn't scream, you couldn't...
Well,
couldn't take it out on anybody.
no, the old battle axe see, I had a very nice father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's father was made out of solid gold. She's like him.
Mm-hmm.
Jaime was, called him Pop. Short, squat, brown eyes, brown wavy hair, always with a smile, a square face. Those two hands, if the eyes could see it, the hands could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Russia, came to this country with relatives who said that he belonged to them. I got 6 different stories. I don't think he ever went to school.
Probably
He
not.
came here when he was 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he lived and with whom. I don't know who made the marriage contract with him and that fat slob. He should never have married her. And they sent him to Manhattan. This is a story I was told, to learn how to work a sewing machine, which he never saw in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up making the finest clothes for the finest houses in New York. He made a killing.
Mm.
He told me, in those days you got paid in cash, and they put the cash in a little envelope. He made so much